Hello everyone, this is Weekly Politics talk show and I am Elena Chobanian. My today's guests are Lyudmila Palamarchuk, specialist in international economic relations, and Nina Sierkina, master in accounting, audit and control. Welcome in our studio. Our today's topic will be euro and dollars. What do you think, Lyudmila, which currency is more convenient for a simple citizen?
We may not talk only about the currencies. There should be added also some things like gold or real estate. To start off, one of the worrying questions for people in which currency actually save money for the future year 2016. And first one is national currency, of course not for the weak economies, but for the developed. Many investors prefer US dollars as currency with positive dynamics. For instance, in Poland 2 months ago, exchange rate was 3.7 zloty for dollar.
What do you think, Nina?
During the last 5 years, USA economy was recovering using a stimulating program of Federal Reserve System. From the middle of current year, this system began to increase. So due to this system, money are increasing in economy, so dollar began to grow up. At the same time, we have in euro area crisis in 2011, which had influenced on the currency, and nowadays euro as currency is cheaper and it will continue for some time.
Which is the role of the central bank?
Actually, central bank has got several functions. For instance, in general regulation of an economy, emission of money, and control of financial institutions and other commercial bonds. Refinancing serve the government and keeping the gold and foreign currency reserves. The most of central banks decided to save money in different world currencies to keep the national economy on the stable level. Such currencies could be US dollar, as I told, also euro, British pound, Japanese yen and yuan. So it's called basket of currencies.
Which currency is more likely to collapse in the near future and why? Or do you think that one of those currencies will collapse or will appear another currency maybe?
Even if euro now, it is not so strong now, but we mustn't not to take out from our account. Yes, we mustn't put all eggs in the one basket. If you have a certain amount of money, you have to divide them on something in euro, in dollars, to take to account about Swiss franc, to take about the gold, which are very stable, and this division will help you to save some risk. If one currency will collapse, you never will lose everything.
United States, is one of the biggest trade partners with the European Union. Are those two currencies, euro and dollar, competing with each other?
They can be enemies because United States and Eurozone are two really strong economies in the world, and as well as we have known about China, which can compete actually with both those dons, but according to the currency, actually for those trade operations for each country, almost for each country, but euro is used only for regional partnership between the countries members of the European Union or between trading partners of the European Union, as well as the situation is with China, with Chinese yuan. But the US dollar is the most common, and of course its value in the basket of currencies is the biggest and it is the strongest currency. But probably there are some thought that euro can compete with dollars in the near future, but I don't feel like that.
Can you explain what is inflation?
The most important is demand pull inflation. It's when economy experiences a boom with GDP. In monetary terms, it means too much money chasing too few goods.
What does the state do in this case?
A government, too close to cover this gap, it issues more money. Basically, they print money. It is not so good for economy because those money are not covering any real goods or services produced in an economy.
Is it possible to exchange goods without using money?
Nowadays, we have system when we are paying not only even with the cash, our money now are virtual in the bank accounts. So I'm sure that one country won't find so easily another country who will agree that they will give them products, and after that they will expecting not for real money but for another good
or services.
It is possible, I think, in one country, but between different using exchange rates, I think it's impossible.
Actually, it happens from time to time on the level of local business or multinational, not between the countries. Of course, there could be some exchange. For instance, as European Union offers some services such as consultancy or some providing another technological products and so on to Eastern European Partnership.
And also I have some examples when there are some global networks of some companies, and of course it is able for them to make something like barter. So inside of one company, which is transnational, in different countries there are representatives, but they are working for one aim.
Is it possible someday to use gold instead of other currencies?
Some ages before, countries used connection with state golden reserves and existence of exact amount of national currency.
I want to provide you with one example. There is a project in Islamic states. For instance, Libya, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Brunei, and so on, to create golden dinar. It is the project for practical usage of gold, but actually not the gold itself, but the currency dinar tied to gold. And one of the authors of this project was Gaddafi. Actually, after the death of Gaddafi, this project has slowed, but now there are still some negotiations between all those countries to come back to gold standard, because gold is always used to be stable.
More stable than other currencies.
Than currency itself.
Thank you for being here. You listened to Weekly Politics, even if today's topic was about economy. And your host was Elena Chobanian. See you next time.